that he gives. Established miners who are members of or sympathizers of the NDC. It says, this is NDC he's talking about, so this is not MPP. He says there's some NDC in there also. Let's hear him and see what he says. He says, it is well known in the small-scale mining circles that NDC members and sympathizers were well established in small-scale mining, especially in the Western region. They acquired several concessions in mining-rich areas during the long periods of the NDC reign. Okay, so what's wrong with that? Let's move on. They had the money and other resources to not only sponsor NDC candidates, but also support independent candidates in the supposedly strongholds of the MPP. This is what happened in Ivaluijua and Takwa constituencies. Ah, that's interesting. Professor Frimpong Boateng says that there's a relationship between illegal mining and politics. And he's saying that in the Western region, members of the opposition National Democratic Congress have complete control over the mining concessions there. And they do the Galamsey, and they do the Galamsey so well that they are able to find NDC candidates. And where the area is an MPP stronghold, they will put up an independent candidate for the MPP to lose. That's what he's saying. And he gives examples of Ivaluijua and Takwa constituency, both in the Western region. He continues, in the Wassa East district, a former NDC deputy minister, who is also MP for the Wassa East constituency, has been actively mining in the Subri forest for years. He's been mining in the forest area. He's a member of parliament and a former deputy minister. That's what Frimpong Boateng is saying. Okay. When MPP party officials complained and the army component of Operation Vanguard was withdrawn almost 2 years to the 2020 election, the NDC was given an advantage in terms of access to resources from mining. This is because there are far more NDC people engaged in illegal mining than MPP members in the region. Did you hear that? As Boateng says, in Western region, there are far more NDC people engaged in illegal mining than MPP. So in which region is MPP far more engaged than NDC? Maybe we have to find that out as well. All right. It says the community mining program was rolled out and the president himself commissioned the first site in the Wassa Amenfi district. The community mining project was well subscribed and it became very popular. However, the Ministry of Lands, especially after the appointment of Honorable Kweku Asuma Chairman, became hostile and antagonistic to the program. Some elements in the Minerals Commission, including Mr. S.K. Boafo, the chairman of the Minerals Commission Board, supported the position of the Ministry of Lands. Okay? Apparently, they were angry that the IMCIM was at the forefront in matters concerning small-scale mining, which they said were among the functions of the Minerals Commission. Okay, that's interesting. The effect of this antagonism was that several community mining sites at the IMCIM had planned and were ready to be commissioned, were effectively sabotaged and blocked by the Minerals Commission and the Lands Minister. Typical examples were some community mining sites in Asante Achim area. A day before the commissioning of the sites by the IMCIM, Mr. S.K. Boafo called the MC of Asante Achim Central to block the event. Wow. S.K. Boafo is our uncle, so we don't know whether he does what Frimpong Boateng says he does, but it's of high public interest, isn't it? So we are sharing this with you. All right. So it says S.K. Boafo blocked the event. Let's move on. He, S.K. Boafo, warned the municipal chief executive not to allow the IMCIM to do the commissioning. Otherwise, she might lose her job. The matter was brought to the attention of the chief of staff at the office of the president. The chief of staff advised that we work together, but that advice was not heeded by the Lands Ministry and the Minerals Commission. Donald Etsua, many Ghanaians will remember the name C&J Alaska, a mining company co-owned by Donald Etsua and a Canadian national called Simon Arman. That caused a lot of destruction in the town then known as Dencharaboase, near Diaso. During the last NDC regime, several mining companies signed MOUs with the Ghana Army that regulated the supply of security services to the mining companies. At one point, the soldiers at the site of C&J Alaska were under the command of Captain Mahama. This fine army man was killed whilst providing security for Donald Ensua and his C&J Alaska. When MPP took over in 2017, all MOUs were cancelled and C&J Alaska hired armed macho men to provide security. The IMCIM organized a task force and conducted a complex operation to dislodge Donald Ensua and his C&J Alaska from the Aso forest. The jubilation in the communities around the concession was ecstatic. Naturally, Donald Ensua and his friend were not happy with what the IMCIM had done. I, Frimpong Boate, in particular, came under severe attack. A fierce attacker was Mr. Kweku Baako, a journalist who personally called me, Frimpong Boate, to inform me that the managers of C&J were his friends. Mr. Kweku Baako published unsavory things about me at the time. Having been dislodged from Diaso, Mr. Donald Ensua formed another mining company called Imperial Heritage and managed to get concessions in the Krobo and Apaprama forest in Amansie Central District from the Forestry Commission. Interesting story. Viewers, pay attention. Let's move on. Using satellite imagery, we have followed the activities of Imperial Heritage over the years till date. The damage caused in the forest is many times greater than what happened in Diaso. We were ready to dislodge Imperial Heritage from Krobo Forest when Mr. Gabia Sariochiri Dako called to inform me that he was the lawyer for the Heritage Imperial Limited, a company that was destroying the Krobo and Apaprama forest reserves, and in the process had also polluted and diverted the course of the river Ofin, as can be seen in the satellite images below. We don't have that image. I'm informed. I informed the president about the behavior of Mr. Sariochiri Dako, and the president promised to deal with it. Okay. All right, let's move on. Agyapong Nkrumah, on Saturday, the 8th of February, 2020, Mr. Agyapong Nkrumah, the Minister for Information, assembled a group of journalists from both NDC and MPP affiliated media. Please, viewers, let's remember what he's saying. He says, Agyapong Nkrumah assembled people from NDC and MPP media. Information Minister assembled NDC and MPP media at the Forest Hotel in Dodowa. The Forest Hotel, I know there's a hotel in Dodowa, to discuss a strategy to bring me, Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, down. Whilst they were there, a journalist from among the group called a friend of mine, also a journalist, and informed him about the plot that was being hatched against me. I don't believe this part, and I'll tell you why. Agyapong Nkrumah is Information Minister. He's an official government appointee, Information Minister. Professor Frimpong alleges that Agyapong Nkrumah sits in a hotel in Dodowa with NDC media and MPP media, and he tells them that, let us go and pull Frimpong Boateng down. Which Information Minister would do this? I don't believe it. It didn't happen. It won't happen. You bring NDC media. Now, if Agyapong Nkrumah wants to do something, that's not how he'll do it. He's not going to have a meeting at Forest. No. He's going to send a text to somebody and send a text, Charlie, what we go do? Charlie, that's how they talk among themselves and they decide that, Charlie, what's the plan? This is the thing. Okay, so how do we execute? You won't know. They don't even talk normal. They talk in code. When they mention somebody's name as, what about Kofi? The person may not be Kofi, it's some other person. This is, even at Second World War, information people don't do that. They want to bring you down. They are not going to have a meeting. And with NDC media there, this is the government's Information Minister. It's not true. This part there, maybe Agyapong Nkrumah was against him. I won't know. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm just saying that just interrogating this narrative, you should tell that it's not. So let's start again. Let's start again. That's what I talk about. Journalism is not about camera, it's not hiding. Just look at the story, interrogate it. It will come out. You see, the red flags will just be popping out like that. You don't have to have had a camera to record anybody. Just read it. It will come out. Let's read it. Agyapong Nkrumah on Saturday, the 8th of February. We have to actually check where Agyapong Nkrumah was on the Saturday, the 8th of February. But anyway, few days to Valentine, though. Remember that. Yeah, and he's a young man, so I'm sure he was thinking about Valentine. Mr. Agyapong, the Minister for Information, assembled a group of journalists from NDC and MPP-affiliated media at the Forest Hotel in Dodowa to discuss a strategy to bring me, Kwadwo Frimpong Boateng, down. But if he wants to bring you down, why would he assemble NDC media there? They would go and say that it was Agyapong who said we should. Then, I mean, it will come out. Why would he wouldn't do that? Whilst they were there, that's what he said. A journalist called from among the group, called a friend of mine, also a journalist, and informed him about the plot. Now, this is where the problem is. So, it is possible that somebody called Frimpong Boateng. It's very possible. It's very, very possible. That somebody called him and said, Chief, they are plotting against you. But that's where the problem is. Maybe that person was just throwing a hoax at him. He doesn't understand how the diabolic works, so he thinks that, no. Somebody can just make a call, and viewers, you have to believe it. In this industry, it happens all the time. Somebody can just make a call and say that the other day during the Nigerian elections, somebody sent me a photograph of Goodluck Jonathan and President Mahama sitting together, with Goodluck Jonathan telling President Mahama that, why do you want to contest elections again? And they sent it to me and urged me to use it on TV that day. I don't know who they were. The people sent things to me. I don't know their number. It just comes. So I looked at it. I said, this thing. So I sent it to my people. I said, check, let's see. I do not think that Goodluck Jonathan, knowing his relationship with President Mahama, given the circumstances of President Mahama preparing to run for 2024, and President Mahama being selected by, is it ECOWAS or AU, to come and observe the Nigerian election, that in the public glare like that, Goodluck Jonathan will tell him that, why are you running for president? It occurred to me. It should occur to anyone. Why would Goodluck Jonathan do that? If he wants to talk to President Mahama about election, he'll talk to him in the quiet. He won't say it there. He knows him very well. He has his number. He has his WhatsApp number. He's not going to sit with him and say, hey, Mr. President, why are you running for? No. So as soon as I saw it, it raised a red flag. Now, when you see this, it should raise a red flag. So the problem Professor Boateng is having is this person who called him. The one who called and said that was a prank call. It was a prank call. Nothing was happening. I'm guessing, but I think that my guess is correct. Nothing was happening. The guy called and said, Prof, do you know what? So he called a journalist and said, tell your friend that they have met at Forest Hotel at Dodowa and they are planning against him. So he should also let us do something. That's what they do. That's what they do. So, Prof, just a little bit of sharing with you about how the media works. The problem you're having with this is this part. Whilst they were there, a journalist from among the group called a friend of mine, also a journalist, and informed him about the plot. Okay. Professor Boateng is focused on this allegation because of the things that happened later on. And he alludes to them. Let's see what he says. He says, he further informed my friend to watch out for headlines in some newspapers in the days following. On Monday, 10th February 2022, the Informer newspaper, whose editor was at the meeting, had the banner headline on his front page and produced as follows, something about Frimpong Boateng. We didn't print that one. As if that was not enough, on Thursday, 13th February 2020, at the 71st Cabinet meeting, Mr. Oponkroma, in his regular report to Cabinet, talked about news that was trending in the week. The first thing he mentioned was Frimpong Boateng and 500 missing excavators. Now, what's wrong with that? So, I think this is very serious. So, Professor Frimpong Boateng was sitting in the Cabinet. Somebody had called him that they were doing a meeting at Forest Hotel in Dodowa, and that he should look out for the headlines. He sees the headlines. He doesn't tell Oponkroma anything. And I'll come to the Kweku Baako, where he said Kweku Baako called him directly. He doesn't talk to Oponkroma in the Cabinet meeting about anything. Oponkroma